Good day, everyone. For today's lesson, we were going to tackle about writing the interview. But before we are going to officially discuss the lesson for today, let's narrow down first what are the topics that are included in this lesson. The topics that are included in this lesson are: what is interview? Second, kinds of interview. The third one is the do's and don'ts in conducting an interview. And the last one will be the guidelines to observe during the interview. Now let's focus first what is interview and its importance. An interview is an art of asking questions to obtain information. But technically speaking, it is asking questions to obtain opinions, ideas, or special information on topics of interest to the general public from a prominent person or from a recognized authority. The point of an interview is to provide first-hand information about a particular subject that journalists can use to write articles, create content, or explore that subject further. Meaning to say, an interview is conducted by an interviewer to obtain some information, facts, opinion, or idea from an interviewee. Now, let us focus on the different kinds of interview. So there are three kinds of interview: the informative interview, the opinion interview, and the feature interview. Let's focus first on the informative interview. So informative interview, it is conducted to obtain some information from a person responsible for a new idea. Informative interview is from the word inform. So its main purpose is to inform the reader. And the interviewer gets the facts based on what the interviewee has said or given. Second is the opinion interview. From the word itself, opinion. So it is conducted to obtain opinion, or it is a type of opinionated interview. The interviewee will just give his or her opinion about a certain event, situations, or issues that have been occurred in the society. And it's the duty of the interviewer to jot down the things or the opinions that the interviewee has been said. The third one is the feature interview. Feature interview is the group interview of which there are two types: the inquiring reporter type and the symposium type. So in inquiring reporter type, the reporter asked the same question from the interviewees. On the other hand, symposium type is when the reporter asks one question related from specialists in a given field. Now, let's move on to the do's and don'ts in conducting an interview. Let's focus first on the do's, or the things you must do in conducting an interview. First, know your subject thoroughly and jot down exactly what questions you want clarified. As an interviewer, it is very important that you should know your subject, and you should only write or jot down the important questions that you want to be clarified by the interviewee. It is your duty as an interviewer that you must know exactly what is your subject, because in that case, if you didn't know the subject or the issues that you want to be tackled by the interviewee, the interview wouldn't be successful. The second one is know your interviewee, his habits, strength, opinion on the topic, achievements, even his weaknesses. It is very important as an interviewee to know the person you are going to interview. As an interviewer, it is very important that you must know who is the person you are going to interview. Aside from its professional manner, it also gives you a chance to properly interrogate the interviewee, and also for the both of you to feel comfortable while doing the interview. The third one is make an appointment and be there ahead of time. Be prepared to listen and take brief notes when advisable. Well, we all know that before you will going to conduct an interview, you must set first an appointment to know if when is the perfect time that you can interview that certain person. And in doing interview, you must be prepared to listen. Be focused on the things that the interviewee has said. And it is very advisable that you must take notes or jot down the important things that the interviewee has said. It doesn't mean that in taking notes, it's not advisable to take all the things that the interviewee has said. You must just write or jot down the very important things that the interviewee has said. The fourth one is introduce yourself again even if you have an appointment. Always be courteous in requesting clarifications and be friendly and grateful for concessions, like repetition of an explanation you are getting down verbatim, and for being allowed to tape his explanation. In meeting the interviewee, you must introduce yourself again, not just for professionalism, but for the interviewee to know you. And you must be thankful and courteous for the time that the interviewee has given to you. The fifth one is offer to show him your write-up before its publication. It is a must that you should show the things that you have been writing in the interview for misunderstanding or miscomplications in publication. The last one is respect of the record comments. We all know that as an interview accord, we cannot deny the fact that there are some comments that has been posted by the readers. So we must respect it because we all know that we have different perceptions and opinions in life, and the best thing to do about the comments or the off the record comments is just accept and respect it. Now, let us focus on the don'ts in conducting an interview. First is never demand and say thank you. As what I said a while ago, in doing an interview, you must be courteous and you should never demand. You must request and say thank you after the interviewee has granted your request. The second one is don't react unfavorably to whatever he is saying. Even when asked, be neutral if you cannot honestly agree with him. Remember, you will write down his answers, not your ideas. As what I said earlier, we have different perceptions as a person. And even if you are not favor with his opinion, you must respect it because it is his or her opinion about that certain issue. You just write his opinion because your job is to write his opinion and do not write your ideas from his opinion. The third one is don't hesitate to request repetitions or clarification of anything not fully understood. An interviewer, don't hesitate or don't be shy to request repetition or clarification of the interviewee's ideas. From that way, you can avoid misunderstanding and miscomplications in your publication. The fourth one is don't take down everything. Abbreviate long words and use only keywords or main ideas. I just said it earlier that as an interviewer, it is not a must that you must know or jot down everything that the interviewee has said. Instead, you're just going to abbreviate or use keywords or simply take the important things that the interviewee has said. Fifth one is don't overstay. After the interview and the checking of your write-ups from the interview, say thank you to the interviewee and don't overstay because we don't know that the interviewee has another schedules or appointment. The sixth one is don't postpone writing your notes. Do as you get out of the interview room. Taking up everything, do not forget your notes in the interview room because it is very unprofessional. Now let's move on to the guidelines to observe during the interview. First, be interested in what your subject has to say. Give him importance. Do not interrupt while he is talking. While doing an interview, be focused and do not interrupt when the interviewee is talking. The third one is positive questions are preferred to negative or rambling questions. As an interviewer, you must prefer to have positive questions than negative one. For the both of you to have a light conversation about a certain issue or topic with the interviewee. The fourth one is take notes unobtrusively. Some interviewees get frightened or bored with reporters who take down everything they say. As what I said earlier, as an interviewer, you must not take everything what the interviewee has said. Instead, abbreviate long words into simple words or keywords for you to fully cover the important things came from the interviewee. The fifth one is get your subject's name correctly spelled, his middle initial, his address, age, but do not insist if refused, occupations, among others, anything relevant to your story. It would be very embarrassing to return for this after you have left his office. It is very understandable that as an interviewer, you must be focused in getting the name of the interviewee correctly spelled. But if the interviewee refuses to give his information, then as an interviewer, do not insist. Instead, write it anonymous or something that the interviewee's name cannot be appealed in your publication. And it would be so unprofessional and embarrassing knowing that you forgot to write the interviewee's name if have given a chance that he or she will give his name. And you should write it correctly spelled by his name down to his middle initial and to his surname. The sixth one is show your quotes or even the whole report in proofs of a technical subject but do not promise to. If given a chance, show him your full writings or your full report to have clear clarifications and to avoid misunderstanding and miscomplication in publishing the article. That is all my lesson in writing the interview. I hope you gained some information and knowledge about this report. Thank you and good day.